Today we have a look at a new Mario game, 52 Guinness World Records in 52 weeks, birthday cards for a 100-year-old veteran, and much more.
We have today's weather forecast with Madison and a look at sports with Eli.
Today is Friday, February 11, 2022. It is National Peppermint Patty Day.
We are live from Shroyer Studio H12 on the campus of Bradley Central High School, and you are watching Vox News Today.
Welcome back. I am Alex Wingard.
And I'm Amber Filial.
A student at Oak Grove Elementary School in Bradley County slipped and fell from monkey bars on the school's playground yesterday during school. The event was quite traumatic as rescue personnel attended to the scene and had a Life Force helicopter come to the school to airlift the student to the hospital. No further information has been given about the current condition of the elementary school student.
3 workers were rescued from a trench after partial collapse at a construction site at an Intel campus in Chandler, Arizona Wednesday. It's a suburb southeast of Phoenix. A crane and basket was used to pull them out of the deep trench at massive construction site. Fire officials say they were taken to a hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening and are in stable condition. There is no word yet on the cause of collapse.
When you call for help, you expect someone readily available to assist you, but recently the police have been experiencing a shortage in dispatchers. Working as one is a difficult job. According to dispatcher Linda Roach, it's not for everybody. It's a hard position to be in and it's really high stress. Because of staffing issues, these dispatchers are working 12 hours a day, 4 days a week. Fortunately, the staffing levels are being maintained and there's no need to worry when you next call 911.
China's central government is stepping in to help Hong Kong deal with the massive COVID spike. The region saw its highest daily rise in cases since the pandemic started Wednesday. Beijing is sending their officials to assist Hong Kong's with new policies. Restrictions in Hong Kong have already started, with many public places being shut down. So far, it hasn't been enough, but the region hopes it will see improvement soon.
Australia's definition of being fully vaccinated is set to change, with the county's technical advisory group on immunization recommending that everyone aged 16 years and older receive a booster dose 3 months after their primary course to maintain the best protection and an up-to-date status. Under the advice, a person is considered up-to-date if they have completed all the doses recommended for their age and individual health needs. A media release from Australia's Ministry for Health and Aged Care read, "The new terminology replaces the fully vaccinated status, which applied to anyone who has had 2 doses of the vaccine. The experts also advise that if it has been longer than 6 months since a person's primary course and they haven't had a booster, they will no longer be considered up to date and instead will be considered overdue." ATAGI noted that the new advice is provided for the management of the COVID-19 pandemic here in Australia and does not cover the vaccination requirements relating to international border settings.
3 border crossings to the U.S. are now blocked to vital traffic, as trucks shut down traffic over pandemic restrictions in Canada, and things aren't likely to get better anytime soon. For far right-wing groups worldwide, from anti-vaxxers to QAnon, this act of defiance is becoming a beacon of resistance to all things government. Paula Newton, Ottawa, Canada. 2 weeks now in the so-called Freedom Convoy, the truckers' protest is still going strong here in Canada, and in fact spreading to other places in Canada. Most significantly, those border blockades that now really threaten to harm not just the Canadian economy, but the U.S. one as well. I want you to take a look at what you see behind me, though. These are truckers and some of their supporters that have been here now, some of them for nearly 2 weeks. And they say they all have the food, the fuel, and the enthusiasm they need to keep this up. For its part, Ottawa police have tried to do what they can to avoid confrontation, to avoid violence. They say they need reinforcements. Those reinforcements are coming, but many are beginning to wonder exactly how many reinforcements it will take and how long this will go on. A reminder that the city in the downtown core remains gridlocked.
A new Mario game is to be released soon. Nintendo announced that a new game and an expansion will be added. The new game is one in the Mario Soccer series. It's titled Mario Strikers Battle League. The release date is set at June 10th. The game is rated E10+ for everyone 10+ for cartoon violence and comic mischief. In addition, Nintendo is extending the life of their game Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with its announcement of 48 new tracks coming to the game as a DLC between March 18th and the end of 2023.
Humans and dinosaurs can't coexist. We've created an ecological disaster. The whole Jurassic gang's together in the first full trailer for Jurassic World Dominion. Billed as the final film in the Jurassic World series, Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin's daughter, stars in Student Body out this week, digital. Smith says the bloody pot is an allegory for what many high school girls have to endure from friends and supposedly responsible adults. The latest Dino epic rumbles into theaters June 10th.
The Australian government has officially listed the koala as endangered in 3 states, New South Wales, Queensland, and the Australian Capital Territory, after a rapid decline in numbers over the last decade. The decision comes after 3 organizations, the Humane Society International, WWF Australia, and the International Fund for Animal Welfare, nominated for the endangered listing. In 2020, a parliamentary inquiry warned the koala would be extinct in New South Wales by 2050 unless the government took urgent action. It said government policies until that point had been inadequate and made 42 recommendations, including limiting logging in some parts of NSW State Forest and establishing a Great Koala National Park.
The Wilson Sporting Goods Company has been making football since 1955. Wilson and the National Football League have the longest partnership in American sports history ever. Each hide of leather provides enough material for about 10 pigskins. The name pigskin comes from the pig bladders that used to fill the balls. Many of the more than 130 workers have been here for decades. It's no easy task and requires very strong fingers. Nothing in the factory has changed much since they started here, nearly 70 years ago. Some of the machines from the 1800s and parts are no longer available. Even though this year's Super Bowl hasn't been played, the team at Wilson is already hard at work with the NFL on what next year's game balls will look like.
And now let's check on our weather. Madison, what can you tell us?
Temperatures were pretty cool this morning and will be in the late 60s by this afternoon, which will have an enhanced fire danger warning. More of that right after this break.
Wow, college already.
Yeah. We gotta go.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. And thanks for everything.
Gratitude. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
lot better than last week.
We weren't born to follow.
Final round. Fight.
Welcome back. I'm Madison Johnston with your weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at our weather at glance. Right now it's 38 degrees in Cleveland with a high today of 68 and a low of 45. Precipitation for today is at 4% and the wind is 2 miles per hour. Humidity is at 74%, the dew point is 31 degrees, pressure is 30.5 inches, and the visibility is 10 miles, and the UV index is 0 out of 10. And let's go ahead and take a look at our local radar. Right now there is nothing in the area in Cleveland or in Chattanooga. And let's look at our national radar. There are storms moving across Chicago and Indianapolis with snowstorms at the Canadian border. And let's look at our 7-day weather. Saturday we'll have partly cloudy skies with a high of 53 and a low of 25. Sunday we'll have mostly sunny skies with a high of 45 and a low of 20. Monday will be sunny with a high of 49 and a low of 20. Tuesday will also be sunny with a high of 61 and a low of 35. Wednesday will be mostly sunny with a high of 65 and a low of 54. And Thursday we'll have rain in the area with a high of 68 and a low of 43. That's all I have for weather, and here's Eli with your sports.
If you missed the NFL honors, NBA trade, or some more Olympics, we'll have that and more after this break.
Well, you're wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Are you kidding?
Your proposal's ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
Oh, that's the power of one.
Civility. Pass it on.
One grain of sand can turn the tide.
Strike one. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike two. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Trick 3.
Wow! I'm the greatest pitcher in the world! Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back. I'm Ian Dunn with your sports. Aaron Rodgers had won MVP before, 3 times in fact before this season, but he had never won them in consecutive seasons. Until Thursday night, only Peyton Manning has won 5 MVPs, and it was Manning who handed Rodgers the award on stage at the NFL Honors Awards show in Los Angeles. Rodgers, who was 38 years old, became the 5th player in NFL history to win the award in consecutive seasons, joining Manning, Brett Favre, and Joe Montana and Jim Brown. The International Olympic Committee isn't offering much information about a legal cause thought to be delaying a medal ceremony for figure skaters. Russian media is reporting an athlete from that country tested positive for trimetazidine back in December. That drug is typically used to treat the heart condition angina, but it's on the World Anti-Doping Agency's ban list. Figure skaters and the team event saw the medals ceremony scheduled for Tuesday night in Beijing removed from the Olympic calendar without explanation. The IOC is not confirming that delay due to a doping investigation. Now let's take a look at the Olympic gold medal board. The top 5 or the top 3 is Norway sitting at 6 gold, 3 silver, and 5 bronze. Germany sitting at number 2 spot with 6 gold, 3 silver, and 0 bronze. Number 3, Sweden at 5 gold, 2 silver, and bronze. And the United States of America is at 5th place with 4 gold, 5 silver, and 1 bronze. People have called Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow many names during this season in the NFL. As his profile has increased, so has the number of Joe Burrow's nicknames. Joe Burr, Joe Cole, Joe Franchise. But during the first day of Super Bowl 56 media festivities, Burrow said he's indifferent, just call me Joe Burrow, said on Monday during his virtual news conference. Quote, whatever anybody wants to call me is okay with me, end quote. In fact, his status as the face of the franchise was cemented the moment he walked into the building. According to Bengals defensive end Sam Hubbard, Bradley Central swept the basketball series rival Cleveland on Thursday night against at Rain Arena. The Barretts won 63-42, and the Bradley Central boys edged Cleveland 51-48. How does Thursday's jaw-dropping deal at the NBA trade deadline, sending Brooklyn Nets star James Harden to the Philadelphia 76ers for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, and 2 future first-round picks, change the balance of power in the Eastern Conference? Tomorrow is senior day for the Bears and Barretts. The Barretts play Knox Catholic, and the Bears play Brainerd. JV Barretts at 12, Barretts at 1:30, and the Bears hit the court at 3. That is all I have for sports. Stay tuned for more news after this.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
We broke Old Man Hennessy's window.
Correction, dude. You broke. I just threw the ball.
This is really bad. What are we gonna do?
Dude, kiss your life goodbye.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude.
Keep smiling, keep shining. No,
Hi.
you can't.
Tell him it was an accident, and we can fix the window. I'll come with you.
Oh, that's what friends are for.
Welcome back.
South Africa's rhino population has reduced dramatically in recent years. Their falling numbers have been largely driven by poachers who use rhino horns to make bogus medicines. South Africa's government says 451 rhinos were poached last year. Numbers were lower in 2020, likely due to pandemic restrictions. But those restrictions also poor wildlife reserves of desperately needed tourist dollars used to fund conservation efforts.
An argument at this Milwaukee lodge turned deadly Thursday evening. A gunman shot a 30-year-old woman to demise and injured two 23-year-old men. All three victims are employees of the Brownstones Social Lodge. Police say the argument started when the shooter was denied access. It is not known why, but the lounge's Facebook page says it does not admit anyone under 27 years old. Authorities are reviewing surveillance video to get more details on the suspect. The two men who were shot are expected to live.
A Bradley County man faces charges for 27 counts of child neglect following a fire at a Cleveland daycare, according to the Bradley County Sheriff's Office. The fire was at Little Lamb's Daycare on Water Level Highway. While responders were removing children from the building, they noticed open beer containers present in the room. According to Bisco, Ames, Roger Carpenter Jr. was arrested and charged with 27 counts of child neglect. He is currently being held on a $135,000 bond at the Bradley County Jail, according to Bisco.
It may have taken a 5-year-old to show his kindness and friendship, but it is still very much alive. It all unfolded in a kindergarten classroom with a lesson about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. John Reese knew Valentine's Day was coming up and he didn't want Miss Peterson to be alone. He gave her a rose and a card he made himself. I opened up the card and it said, "Will you go to dinner with me at David's Saturday at 6 o'clock? I said, "Of course, yes," said Peterson. John Reese said he picked the Catfish restaurant because he knew it was Miss Peterson's favorite place to eat at. And so the story goes. If you're out and about in the Atmore area on Valentine's Day and you see these two together, you'll know why.
The space and defense contractor has been tasked with building the Mars Ascent vehicle. The rocket would land on the red planet to retrieve rocks and dirt currently being gathered by the rover Perseverance. The aircraft has to be strong enough to withstand Mars's harsh environment, but also small enough to fit inside another lander. The 6-year contract with Lockheed Martin is worth about $194 million. If successful, the Mars Ascent vehicle would be the first to launch from another planet. NASA says the samples won't likely return to Earth until the early 20s to 30s.
Subways, sewers, those are some places you might expect to see rats, but what about on a playground? Some Francisco parents are concerned about the rodents inhabiting an area where their children play. Jacob Ortega and his brother chasing this white rat Sunday evening at one of the two Civic Center playgrounds in the shadows of San Francisco City Hall. Chattavelli resident says, "We just saw a big white rat come out twice to look at us, about 8 inches long, white like albino white, and pink nose." Jacob Ortega resident also said, "I'm trying to look at for a lot of rats, but that white rat isn't alone. Other rats are also taking to this playground area in the later afternoon hours."
Georgia lawmakers are advancing 2 measures meant to limit public schools' access to inappropriate or obscene materials. The measures are part of a border conservative push on school issues this year, including efforts to ban transgender girls from playing school sports and to give parents the right to examine instructional materials. Republicans also seek to ban critical race theory, a term stretched from its original meaning as an examination of how societal structures perpetrate, while dominance to a broader indictment of diversity initiatives and teaching about race. The Internet Filtering Bill requires the State Department of Education to each year publish standards that districts must meet for using internet filters to block access to materials that are obscene, pornographic, or harmful to minors.
A Maine woman who pulled over on a road while driving home captured footage of a fearless moose that walked up to eat snow off the hood of her car. Margot Lukens of Orono said she and her dog have been cross-country skiing in the Caribou Bog conservation area and were traveling home on Taylor Road in Orono when she saw lines of cars stopped on both sides of the road. Lukens said she soon spotted a reason that traffic had come to a halt, a young moose in the road. She said the moose turned its attention to her vehicle when the car in front of her drove away. She captured video of the moose eating and licking at the ice in the snow on the front of her car. Lukens said her dog was in the car with her, but the canine seemed unconcerned. Lukens said she saw a police officer and another person ushering the moose out of the roadway as she drove away from the scene.
The rumors are true. Champions is coming to Cleveland. Seth Champion, owner of the Champions franchise, which includes 9 present locations, said the eatery will be in the area in the Ocoee Crossing Shopping Center, which includes Food City. The closing on the property occurred last week, and construction should begin soon. Champion said he is shooting for opening in the fall. Champions is a well-known establishment. Champion said he grew up in B.B. King's hometown of Indianola, Mississippi. Champion eventually relocated to Cleveland and remembers that his first business loan was from First National Bank in Cleveland when he was building the Champions chain. Champion said plans for the Cleveland Champions to mirror the one in East Ridge.
To mask or to not mask, that is the question. When it comes to the answers, state, federals, and authorities increasingly seem at odds. President Joe Biden is backing up the CDC. It recommends people mask up in indoor public spaces if they live in areas with high or substantial transmission. That's most of the country, but only 8 states require masks inside public spaces, and 5 of those say that'll change within the next couple of months in the end. The CDC mainly just offers COVID-19 guidance and not mandates.
A federal judge has put the gray wolf back on the endangered species list, reversing a Trump-era wildlife decision. The judge's ruling is in favor of the Humane Society and other wildlife organizations. The Trump administration removed the animal from the list under the assertion its population had sufficiently recovered. In response, the wildlife organizations filed a lawsuit. They claimed the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service failed to take proper consideration when removing them from the endangered species list in the Great Lakes states. After the delisting in February 2021, the Humane Society said hunters killed more than 215 wolves in less than 3 days, exceeding the state's quota by nearly double.
A guy who's become a one-man record-breaking machine says he pulled off his most daunting challenge yet, a year's worth of broken world records. This Idaho man claims to have broken 52 Guinness World Records in 52 weeks. Author, speaker, and entertainer David Rush has made a career of breaking records and uses fascinating feats to promote STEM education. In a recent YouTube video, Rush said he completed his goal of breaking 1 world record every single week in 2021, sharing a highlight reel of his bizarre and baffling exploits.
A Massachusetts man will be turning 102 in a few weeks, and all he's asking for is something pretty simple. So to help him celebrate, his daughter is reaching out through social media. Every afternoon, as Swansea residents head to their mailboxes and grab bills and other envelopes, Joseph Bucco of Swansea sits patiently on his porch. Bucco spends hours out here, reading his cards carefully with a magnifying glass in hand. Strangers from all over have pitched in. This simple gesture is lifting his spirits, especially after losing his wife a few years back. He asked whether his birthday parties have slowed down over the years. Bucco says it's just the opposite. With his grandchildren now having children, the party just keeps getting bigger. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube through our channel BCHS VOX News.
You will also find more online at our website, voxnews.net.
Remind your friends to like, subscribe, share, and tune in.
You just cannot get enough of box.
That is all we have for you today from Studio H12 at Bradley Central.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears!